When I was a kid, my mom shopped the perimeter of the grocery store, and I cruised the baking aisle. The small grocery store in my tiny Midwestern hometown was the last stop for the produce truck. So while my mom pawed through piles of aging green onions, I took stock of the array of ready-to-make treats. There were boxes that promised perfect layer cakes and indulgently fudgy brownies, multiple varieties of no-bake cheesecakes, and that eternally fascinating Jell-O 1, 2, 3 dessert. Its triple striped box making an almost unfathomable promise. One mix separates into 3 layers. God bless the 80s. And then there were the tubs. I've always been more of a cake person than a frosting person. But the photos on the tubs of frosting were so enticing. Who could resist those perfect swoops and swirls? I remember trying the vanilla frosting for the first time. It spread like a dream. It tasted like a cheap scented candle. But the chocolate was another story. On the rare occasion that we had some in the house, I would eat it with a spoon, much to my mom's horror. The only thing better than eating it straight from the tub was using it to frost a freshly baked boxed cake. At a certain point, my palate changed and the tub frosting lost its appeal. I tried several times to go back to my old standby. It was the same. But I wasn't. I wanted something that really tasted like chocolate. Enter the geniuses at Cooks Illustrated. The first time I made their foolproof chocolate frosting, I knew it was a winner. First of all, the recipe calls for 2.5 sticks of butter, which is a strong start. You mix the butter in the food processor with powdered sugar, cocoa powder, and some salt. I always add a little extra. Next is a key ingredient, corn syrup, which gives the frosting that tub-like sheen and prevents it from getting crusty like buttercream can. And then there's more chocolate. This time in the form of cooled melted milk, semi-sweet, or bittersweet chocolate. I usually go for something in the 60% range, but that's a personal preference. As you make the frosting, you'll hear the texture change. It starts with the thump, thump, thump of the butter and cocoa powder. And then the corn syrup smooths things out. The melted chocolate thickens the frosting a bit, and I swear you can hear the food processor purr when the chocolate goes in. Or maybe that's me. Who's to know? I've made this frosting more times than I can count, but it brings me joy every single time. It's easy to make, it comes together quickly, and it's a real pleasure to use. That may sound kind of silly, but anyone who's had to struggle with frosting that's too sticky or too clumpy or too runny can appreciate one that goes on without a struggle. This is the frosting that's been on 5 out of 7 of my son's birthday cakes. And I've even used it to pipe fur on a bear-shaped cake for his 4th birthday. This stuff can do it all. Oh, and I can confirm that it's also quite delicious eaten with a spoon. Sorry, Mom.